We'll Get It Right This Time by Tyla Walker.
Some passions are meant to stay hidden.
But where's the fun in that?
Temptation calls. Will you answer?
Let's just say resistance is futile in this steamy tale.
How steamy are we talking, baby?
Hot enough to fog up your e-reader, but too spicy for YouTube.
Too spicy for YouTube? And where can I get the dirty details?
Grab the unabridged version at TylaWalker.com and get 40% off the audiobook with code SAVE40.
Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this, released daily.
This is Tyla Walker's We'll Get It Right This Time. Chapter 1. Naomi. I'm sipping my morning coffee while trying to wake up from a less than productive night's sleep when suddenly my phone vibrates on the kitchen counter, breaking the silence of my Sunday morning. I pick it up, seeing an unknown number. Hello? Is this Naomi James? The voice is professional but warm. Yes, this is Naomi. Can I ask who's calling? This is Mrs. Harper from Sunrise Social Services. We've received your application, and I'm pleased to inform you that you've been selected for the senior case manager position. My heart skips a beat. Seriously? That's amazing. Congratulations, Naomi. There's just one thing. I need to confirm that you're willing to relocate to our office in Lakewood. The excitement freezes midair. Lakewood, the town I swore I'd never return to. Wait, when I applied, it didn't say anything about needing to relocate. She sighs. Yes, I'm so sorry about that. We had a position open here, but they decided to transfer someone from another department to it. So, the only position available is at Lakewood. If that's a problem, we completely understand. I've been wanting this job forever. It's a dream come true for me, but I wasn't considering relocating. Can I, have a few days to think about it? I managed to ask. Of course. Please get back to us by Friday. I certainly will speak to you soon. Hanging up, I slump into the chair, the joy replaced by a gnawing dread. I know what I need to do. I need to call my best friend. She's the one person I can talk to that levels me. Maybe she can help me make a decision. Natalie, you'll never guess what just happened, I blurt out as soon as she picks up. Did you win the lottery? She laughs. Better? I got the job at Sunrise Social Services. Natalie's scream pierces the air, and I have to pull the phone away from my ear to prevent a ruptured eardrum. That's fantastic! So why do you sound like you just stepped on a Lego? It's in Lakewood. She goes quiet for a moment. Lakewood? As in your hometown? As in Damon Sinclair? Yes and yes. I pace around my living room. I don't know if I can go back there. Natalie hums thoughtfully. It's your dream job, though. What's holding you back more, Damon or the town itself? Both, I admit. But mostly Damon. You could always face him head on, she suggests with a touch of mischief in her voice. I groan. Easier said than done. Naomi, Lakewood's not exactly a one-stoplight town anymore. It's grown. The chances of running into Damon are probably slim. I sit down, pulling my knees up to my chest. You think? Absolutely. Besides, it's not like you'll be hanging out at the country club or whatever rich people do. I laugh despite my worries. Yeah, I doubt I'll be sipping martinis with the elite. See? Plus, you've got that whole helping people thing going for you. You'll be too busy saving the world to bump into old flames. More like trying to save the world, I correct her. But you have a point. And think about it, she continues, her voice brightening. If you don't take this job because of him, aren't you letting him win? My heart clenches at that thought. I hate it when you're right. I know, it's a curse, she chuckles. But seriously, you've worked too hard to let anything stand in your way now. I stand and start pacing again, staring out the window at the bustling city below. You're right, I admit. I can't let my past dictate my future. That's the spirit, Natalie cheers. But if I do see him, what if it brings back all those feelings? Then you'll deal with them, she says matter-of-factly. You're stronger now than you were back then, and who knows? Maybe seeing him will give you some closure. I snort. Closure? With Damon? That's like trying to find a unicorn. Natalie laughs. Okay, bad choice of words, but still, it's worth a shot. All right, I say slowly, feeling a bit more resolute. I'll call Mrs. Harper back and accept the job. That's my girl. And hey, if it gets too tough, you can always call me for an emergency pep talk. I'll hold you to that, I say with a smile. After hanging up, I feel a strange mix of anxiety and excitement coursing through me. Lakewood might hold ghosts from my past, but maybe she's right. Maybe it's time to face them head on. I take a deep breath and pick up the phone again, dialing Mrs. Harper's number before I can second-guess myself. Mrs. Harper? It's Naomi James. Oh, Naomi, have you made your decision already? Yes, I say firmly. I'll take the position in Lakewood. Oh, wonderful. I'm excited you've gotten back to us so soon. As we go over the details of my new role and relocation plans, including a fully furnished apartment, I can't help but feel a twinge of nervous anticipation. We'll give you a few weeks to get settled into your new place so that you feel ready to conquer your first day, she says sweetly. Thank you so much, I respond. I'm excited to get started. Perfect, she responds cheerily. I'll email you your information and paperwork. Welcome aboard, Naomi. The line goes dead and reality sets in. Here goes nothing. I spend the next few days at war with myself, making a pros and cons list, yet ultimately deciding to put my big girl panties on and pack my things and head for Lakewood. I know the job doesn't start for a few weeks, but I'd like to attempt to get settled before my first day. Granted, I'm not sure there will ever be much settling when Damon Sinclair is involved. As I drift towards the I-40 corridor, I grab my phone. I can't wait to let my brother Marcus know that I'm moving back home. It's the last thing he probably expects, but I know he will be excited. He answers on the second ring. Hey, Nay, is everything okay? Of course, I respond. I just wanted to be the first to tell you my big news. Big news? Are you pregnant? He asks, his voice laced with concern. I struggle to maintain my composure. Not that big, Marcus. Just, I'm moving back to Lakewood, big. Don't joke like that, Naomi. You'll have me standing by the window waiting for you to pull in the drive. I've missed the hell out of you, kid. Well, if you want to stand in front of the window in approximately... I look down toward the GPS, highlighting the time of my arrival. Say 2:15, then you probably will see me pulling in. No way. How the hell did this come about? He says, and I can almost picture the splitting smile across his face. Well, I scored my dream job, but as luck would have it, it's located in hell, aka where you still reside, I say, accompanied by an eye roll. Come on, Naomi. It won't be so bad. You just expect the worst. Yeah, you're right. Don't get used to me admitting that thought. I laugh out loud. I know better than that. Be careful. I'll see you in a few hours, he says. Will do. Bye, Marcus. I look at the rear view, bidding my old life goodbye, and for some reason I'm not near as sad or as nervous as I expected. I swing by Marcus's to pick him up, making him an unwilling participant in helping unload all the belongings I have managed to cram into my small SUV. He continues to stare at me as we drive, almost like I'm some figment of his imagination, not his little sister returning to the place she ran away from years ago with her tail tucked between her legs. We arrive at my apartment. It isn't stellar looking by any means, but if it's a safe place to lay my head at night, then I'm not one to complain. We make our way up the stairs, arms loaded down with boxes. I set mine down and put in the code Mrs. Harper emailed to unlock the door. It swings open and I'm met with a modest but cozy space, That will certainly do the job. You sure about this? He asks, setting down a box labeled kitchen stuff. Nope, I reply honestly, leaning against the doorway. He chuckles. Well, you're stuck, because I'm already used to having you back. I smile, the realization that Marcus and I are in the same zip code again hitting me. Thanks for helping, Marcus. I'd be buried in cardboard without you. That's what big brothers are for, he says, flashing a rare smile. We spend the next few hours unpacking, sorting through my life one box at a time. I pull out a framed photo of us from years ago, both grinning like fools at a family barbecue. Remember this? I hold it up. Marcus looks over and nods. Yeah, that was before I learned the perils of your cooking. I laugh. Hey, I've improved since then. I'll believe it when I taste it. As the sun dips below the horizon, we take a break on my couch, surrounded by half-unpacked boxes and scattered belongings. How's work? I ask him. Busy as ever, but you know me, I thrive on chaos. I nod. You've always been good at managing it, unlike me. Don't sell yourself short, Naomi. You've been handling your own kind of chaos for years. True, I admit. But social work and corporate business are two different beasts. They are, he agrees. But you're making a difference. That's what counts. A comfortable silence settles between us as we sip on cold beers from my new fridge. Chapter 2. Naomi. I find myself in a daze, staring at the hideous yellow color these walls are painted. Or maybe that's cigarette smoke stain, I'm not sure. The weight of my choices settles on my shoulders like a familiar, if not entirely comfortable, blanket. You know, I say, breaking the companionable silence, sometimes I wonder if I've made the right choices. Marcus raises an eyebrow. What do you mean? I gesture vaguely around the apartment. All of this. The late nights, the missed birthdays and holidays. Sometimes I feel like I've sacrificed too much for my career. You're helping people, Naomi. That's not nothing. I know. I sigh, running a hand through my curls. But at what cost? I can't remember the last time I went on a date that wasn't interrupted by a work emergency. Marcus chuckles. Well, maybe Lakewood will change that. Small town, new faces. Right, I snort. Because my track record here is so stellar. Hey, people change. You've changed. I nod, thinking about the scared, insecure girl I was when I left Lakewood. Yeah, I guess I have. So what's really bothering you? Marcus asks, his eyes searching mine. I take a sip of my beer, buying time. I don't know. I guess I've always been so focused on proving myself, on making a difference. But sometimes I wonder if I've missed out on other important things along the way. Like what? Like connections. Real, meaningful relationships. I've got great friends, don't get me wrong. But romance? That's been on the back burner for so long, I'm not sure I even know how to approach it anymore. Marcus nods thoughtfully. You know, it's okay to want both. A fulfilling career and a personal life aren't mutually exclusive. Easy for you to say, I tease. He grins. Hey, I'm just saying it's possible. You've got time, Naomi. You're only 28. Ancient in small-town years, I quip. Well, maybe it's time to shake things up a bit. Take some risks. Let your guard down. You've been watching too much, Dr. Phil, I tell him, as I toss a hideous throw cushion I claimed from a thrift store in his direction. Hours pass, and Marcus decides he's finally had enough of cardboard and packing peanuts. As I close the door behind my brother, I can't stop thinking about our conversation. Maybe he's right. Maybe I'll get out and do something new. The next morning, I decide to treat myself to a proper coffee. It's been a while since I've had anything that hasn't come from a Keurig. The aroma of freshly ground beans hits me as I push open the door of Lakewood's quaint little cafe. I'll have a... The words die on my lips as I collide with a solid chest. Oh, I'm so sorry. I look up and my heart skips a beat. Those piercing blue eyes, that rugged jawline. Damon Sinclair. Naomi? His voice is a mix of surprise and something else I can't quite place. Wow. It's been a while. I force a smile, willing my racing heart to slow down. Damon, hi. I didn't expect to see you here this soon at least. Likewise. He runs a hand through his hair, a gesture so familiar it makes my chest ache. I heard you were back in town, but yeah, new job. I fidget with my purse strap, suddenly feeling like that awkward teenager again. How have you been? Good. He nods, a little too quickly, which tells me he's as uncomfortable about this as I am. Just, working, the family business and all that. An uncomfortable silence stretches between us, filled with unspoken words and memories of lazy summer days and stolen kisses. Well, I should. I gesture vaguely towards the counter. Right, of course. Damon steps aside, his arm brushing mine. The contact sends a jolt through me, and I hate myself for it. It was good to see you, Naomi. You too, I manage, my voice sounding strained even to my own ears. As I order my coffee, I can feel Damon's eyes on me. The barista hands me my drink and I turn to leave, only to find Damon still there. Listen, Naomi, he starts, his voice low. I know things ended abruptly between us. If you ever want to catch up, maybe clear the air. I swallow hard, memories flooding back, the passion, the heartbreak, the betrayal. I don't think that's a good idea, Damon. He nods, a flicker of something, regret, in his eyes. I understand. Take care, Naomi. I hurry out of the cafe. The cool morning air does nothing to calm the storm of emotions swirling inside me. One brief encounter, and I'm right back where I started, caught between the girl I was and the woman I've become. Chapter 3. Naomi. I stand awkwardly in the corner of the room, scanning the room filled with Marcus's guests. I should be mingling and making connections for my new job, which is why I came here tonight. But my mind isn't focused on work, because there's someone here I didn't expect to see. Damon. I know Marcus and Damon were childhood best friends, but when they both went to different colleges and pursued different business ventures, I assumed maybe they had grown apart. But apparently, I assumed wrong. Even after all these years, my heart still plays tricks on me, skipping a beat as I spot him across the room. He's still the same in so many ways, tall, broad, that quiet intensity about him. His eyes land on me briefly and my stomach flips. I wasn't ready for this. Not again this soon. I've barely stopped overanalyzing the run-in at the coffee shop. I turn back to the group closest to the corner I'm standing in and continue to half-acidly listen to their conversation, forcing a smile and nodding as they discuss the latest policy changes in the city. But I can't keep my thoughts from traveling elsewhere, stuck in a memory of stolen kisses and whispered promises beneath summer stars. This is ridiculous, Naomi. It's been years. Suddenly, Marcus's voice breaks through my thoughts, booming across the room like it always does. Damon, come here for a minute, I hear him say. I glance over my shoulder just in time to see him pulling Damon in my direction. Before I know it, they're in front of me. Hey, sis. You remember Damon? He asks, completely unaware of how well we know each other. But we kept it a secret back then. I'm not ruining that now. So I nod. Yes, how could I forget? You were with each other every second of the day back then. Well, almost every second. Damon winks, careful to do it out of Marcus's view. My heart nearly skips a beat when I catch his wink, letting me know that he's referring to all the stolen time we spent away from Marcus. It's good to see you again. You look beautiful tonight, he continues. My cheeks flush. Thank you. It's good to see you too. Wait again? You've seen each other since you've been back, Naomi? Marcus asks. Damn. Damon's wink got me so flustered I forgot Marcus was even here. Damon clears his throat, saving my almost slip. Yeah, we, ran into each other at Café Noir the other day. Oh, all right. Well, Naomi, I'll let you get back to your conversation. I just wanted to reintroduce my best friend and sister after all these years, but I didn't realize I didn't need to. He laughs, and they walk away. I turn back to the group's conversation, half listening, half watching from the corner of my eye, as Marcus steers Damon through the crowd, thinking about how ridiculous I just was. Why does he still affect me like this? Why, after all the hurt and all these years apart, do I feel that familiar pull when I see him? Naomi, you okay? Claire, a girl I graduated high school with, says, pulling me from my thoughts. I blink, offering her a tight smile. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just realized I'm the only one without a drink. I'll be back in a minute. I slip away from the group, my heart still pounding. I can feel his presence like a gravitational pull as I move toward the kitchen. I head to the fridge, grabbing the first beer I can find. As I close the door, I hear Damon's voice again. Fancy meeting you here, he chuckles, holding out his glass for a cheers. I turn to face him, and when I do, my breath catches in my throat. He's closer than I expected, his familiar scent bringing with it a flood of memories I'd been trying so hard to forget. I force a casual tone, though my heart is racing. I didn't realize you and Marcus were still close. I don't know if I believe that, he smirks as he takes a sip of his drink, watching me over the rim. Why's that? Well, because I've secretly been hoping you've kept tabs on me over the years. He smiles again, and I sip my beer, trying to ignore what he's saying. I know I shouldn't feed into his flirting, but I ask, and why would I be keeping tabs on you? Before I can stop the question from escaping. Because maybe you've been thinking about how much you miss me all these years. I have, but I can't let him know this. I have to change the subject before I do something stupid. I gaze briefly at the amber liquid in his glass, anything to avoid looking him in the eye for too long. I decide to change the subject before I say something stupid. It's funny to me how serious Marcus can be. This is a side of him I haven't seen a lot of since I moved, I say, successfully redirecting our conversation. Yeah, he's definitely grown up a lot since you left. Speaking of that, how are you finding being back in town? I shrug, trying to keep my voice steady. It's an adjustment. I never thought I'd end up back here. In fact, I promised myself I wouldn't. It feels strange, this awkward small talk between us. We were never like this before. Back then, things were easy, comfortable. Now, there's a wall between us. One I helped build when I left without saying goodbye. Damon starts to speak again, but before he can, Marcus appears out of nowhere, oblivious to the tension hanging between us. There you are, sis, Marcus grins, clapping me on the shoulder. I like that you two are talking again. It's like old times. I exchange a look with Damon, the same one we've shared so many times before. If only Marcus knew. I feel a flicker of panic rising in my chest. Marcus wouldn't understand. How could he? Damon clears his throat, obviously trying to shift the conversation. She was just telling me about her new job that brought her back here. I blink, caught off guard by the fact that he's so quick to come up with a reason for our conversation. Yeah, I was just telling him that it's with the city's social services department. It will be challenging but rewarding. I told her it sounds perfect for her, Damon says, and there's something genuine in his tone. She always did have a knack for helping people. A warmth spreads through me at his words, despite myself. I can't help the small smile tugging at my lips. I remember you weren't too bad at that yourself. For a moment, the tension between us shifts. It's like we're slipping back into something familiar, something comfortable. The years between us fade, and I almost forget about the ache of how things ended. Almost. You always did get along well, Marcus cuts in. He's smiling, still oblivious to what we hid from him. Reality crashes back in, and I straighten, the professional mask slipping back into place. I should probably mingle a bit more, I say, forcing a smile. Networking is important for the new role. Of course, I won't keep you. It's good to see you again, Naomi, he says with a half-watt smile. You too, Damon. As he turns to leave, I can't help but remember the boy he used to be, the one who used to hold me close and tell me his dreams. Now, there's this man in front of me, and I can't decide if he's the same person I once knew or a stranger. I don't know which of those two options is worse. I have to keep my distance.
You won't know what hit you, baby. I'm going to take you, break you, and make you mine. And when I'm done, you're...
Now hold on just a minute.
What?
I got something to say.
What's the meaning of this?
Now you may be some fine-looking white boy.
Got that right, baby. It takes hard work.
And you might got the money.
Fat stacks, baby, to spoil you with.
But that doesn't mean I'm going to give it up to you without a fight.
A fight?
You want some limp wilting flowers? Go to historical romance, baby. But you want sassy and spicy strong black queens that tame their alpha male bad boys?
I think our listeners do.
Then you go on and look at Miss Tyla's Bougie Brides and Billionaire's audio bundle.
50 hours of me whispering the most romantic things in your ears. Fake marriages, alpha male billionaires, strong black women, steamy scenes that will make your eyes roll back. And everything wrapped up in a happily ever after that will put you in an afterglow.
Use code SAVE40 to get 40% off this bundle and any other digital product in Miss Tyla's store.
Unabridged and uncut.
Just like you?
You're gonna have to find out.
Tyla Walker Romances. Escape your life with sassy romance. Chapter 4. Naomi. The soft glow of streetlights filters through the cafe windows as I push open the door, and the familiar scent of coffee and pastries envelops me. I don't feel like being home alone right now, so venture out to have some downtime at my favorite place. But as my eyes adjust to the dimly lit interior, I freeze. Oh my God. Damon's here. He's sitting alone at a corner table, a steaming mug in front of him, his gaze fixed on something beyond the window. I consider turning around and leaving for a moment, but he looks up, catching my eye. Naomi, he says, his voice carrying across the empty cafe. Care to join me? I hesitate, my hand still on the door handle. But something in his expression, a mix of weariness and hope, makes me nod. Sure, I reply, making my way to his table. I pull out the chair across from him and sit down on wobbly legs. So, he starts, clearing his throat. Saved any poor children from despair yet? I actually start in a couple weeks. I just wanted to get up here and get settled, I reply, grateful for the safe topic. His eyes soften. That sounds like you. Always the planner, ready to take on the world. The sincerity in his voice catches me off guard, and I feel a flush creeping up my neck. Someone has to try, I quip, attempting to lighten the mood. Damon leans back in his chair, his piercing blue eyes studying me. The air between us feels charged, heavy with unspoken words and shared history. Naomi, he says suddenly, his voice low and intense. Why did you leave? All those years ago? The question hits me like a punch to the gut. I set my mug down, buying time as I gather my thoughts. Damon, I'm not trying to rehash old wounds, he interrupts, leaning forward. I've always wondered. We were so good together, planning our futures together, and then suddenly, you were gone. His words hit me like a bucket of ice water. My throat constricts, and I push back my chair, ready to bolt. I can't do this right now. Damon's hand shoots out, gripping my wrist. Don't run away again, Naomi. Not this time. I deserve an explanation. The intensity in his blue eyes pins me in place. My heart races and I sink back into my seat, feeling cornered. Damon, it was a lifetime ago. Does it really matter now? It matters to me, he says, his voice low and taut with emotion. You owe me that much. I take a shaky breath, wrapping my hands around my coffee mug for comfort. I was young and stupid, okay? I got accepted into my dream college, and I panicked. Panicked? Damon's brow furrows. About what? About us, I admit, the words tumbling out. About how intense everything was. I knew if I told you, you'd try to follow me, and I couldn't. I couldn't be responsible for derailing your life. His jaw clenches. So you made that decision for me? Without even talking to me? The hurt in his voice is palpable. Do you have any idea what that did to me? I woke up one day and you were just gone. No note, no explanation, nothing. Guilt washes over me, and I struggle to meet his gaze. I'm sorry, Damon. I thought I was doing the right thing. The right thing? He laughs bitterly. You devastated me, Naomi. I spent months wondering what I'd done wrong, why I wasn't good enough. His words cut deep, and I feel tears prickling at the corners of my eyes. That wasn't it at all. You were everything. That's what scared me. I was afraid of losing myself in you, of giving up my dreams. And you couldn't have told me that? Damon's voice cracks. We could have figured something out together. I shake my head, a lump forming in my throat. I didn't know how. I was scared and selfish, and I took the easy way out. I've regretted it ever since. You say that so calmly. How can you say it like that? He asks. Like what? Like you didn't destroy me. I feel the tears welling up in my eyes, threatening to spill over. You think it didn't destroy me too? God, Damon, leaving you behind tore me apart. His jaw clenches, eyes flashing with a mixture of pain and anger. Oh, really? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you made a clean getaway. Clean? I choke out a bitter laugh. There was nothing clean about it. I cried myself to sleep for months. Spare me the pity party, Naomi, Damon snaps, his voice rising. You made a choice. You chose to walk away without a word. I didn't have a choice, I shout, my hands balling into fists on the table. The few other patrons in the cafe turn to stare, but I'm beyond caring. Damon leans forward, his eyes blazing. Everyone always has a choice, Naomi. You made the wrong one. His words hit me like a slap across the face. I push back from the table, the chair screeching against the floor. You have no idea what I was going through, I hiss, grabbing my purse. Because you never gave me the chance to understand, Damon retorts, standing up as well. I turn on my heel, heading for the door. The bell jingles as I push it open, the cool night air hitting my flushed cheeks. I hear Damon call my name, but I keep walking, my vision blurring with tears. The sidewalk stretches out before me, empty and cold. My chest heaves with sobs I can no longer contain. I stumble, leaning against a lamppost for support. I never want to see him again, I tell myself, the words echoing in my mind like a mantra. Never, never, never. But even as I think it, I know it's a lie. Because despite everything, despite the years and the pain and the anger, seeing Damon again has awakened something in me I thought long dead. And that terrifies me more than anything.
Chapter 5. Damon. I can't wait to get away and clear my head. These last few run-ins with Naomi have thrown me for a loop. The gravel crunches under my tires as I pull up to Marcus's family cabin. The scent of pine and wood smoke fills my nostrils as I step out of the car, stretching my arms above my head. It's been too long since I've been out here, away from the city's chaos. Damon! You made it! Marcus's voice booms across the clearing. He emerges from the cabin, grinning from ear to ear. I grab my duffel bag from the trunk. Wouldn't miss it, man. Happy birthday. We clasp hands and he pulls me into a quick hug. Thanks for coming. It means a lot. Of course. Though I'm surprised you didn't invite half the town. You usually go all out for your birthday. Marcus shrugs, a mischievous glint in his eye. Wanted to keep it low-key this year. You know? I nod, following him inside. The cabin's rustic interior hasn't changed much over the years. Memories of summers spent here flood back, and I can't help but smile. Beer? Marcus asks, heading to the kitchen. You know me too well. And as he grabs the drinks, I hear the crunch of gravel outside. Expecting someone else? Marcus freezes for a split second before recovering. Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention... The door swings open and my heart stops. Naomi stands in the doorway, her eyes wide with surprise. She's holding a small overnight bag, her curls wild from the drive. Marcus, what? She starts, then her gaze locks onto mine. The air in the room seems to vanish. Marcus clears his throat. Surprise? I thought it'd be nice for us all to catch up. Naomi's shock turns to anger. You didn't tell me he was going to be here. And you didn't tell me she was coming, I add, my voice tight. Marcus looks between us, confusion etched on his face. I didn't realize it was a problem. What's going on with you two? Naomi and I exchange a glance, years of unspoken history passing between us in an instant. Nothing, we say in unison, then look away. Marcus's brow furrows. Nonsense. I can tell when something is wrong. I take a long swig of my beer, avoiding his gaze. Naomi shifts uncomfortably, her fingers tightening on the strap of her bag. I'm sorry, I mutter. I'm just overwhelmed with work. I wasn't aware it would be anyone else besides me and you. It just caught me off guard is all. No worries. Let's just enjoy your birthday. Marcus still doesn't know about our past, and opening up that can of worms is not the kind of birthday gift he would be expecting. That's understandable, but yes. Let's focus on my birthday and relax, Marcus laughs. The first night at the cabin passes in a blur of awkward silences and forced small talk. When it's finally time for bed, I find myself tossing and turning, hyper-aware of Naomi's presence just down the hall. When morning comes, I'm the first one up, desperate for fresh air and space to think. I'm standing on the porch, nursing a steaming mug of coffee, when I hear the cabin door creak open behind me. Naomi steps out, wrapped in a thick cardigan, her hair still messy from the night's sleep. Morning, she mumbles, avoiding my gaze. Good morning, I respond, my voice rougher than I intend. Coffee's fresh if you want some. She nods, disappearing back inside. When she returns, she leans against the railing, mirroring my stance. The morning mist swirls around us, and I catch a whiff of her shampoo vanilla and something floral. It's achingly familiar. So, I start, desperate to break the tension. Any big plans for the day? Naomi shrugs. Marcus mentioned hiking. You? Same, I guess. Though knowing him, he'll probably sleep till noon. A small smile tugs at her lips. Some things never change. Our eyes meet, and for a moment I'm transported back to lazy summer mornings spent on this very porch. The air between us crackles with unspoken words. The spell breaks when Marcus bursts out of the cabin, all energy and enthusiasm. Who's ready for an adventure? We finish our coffee and get dressed and head to the trails. As we trek through the woods, I find myself hyper-aware of Naomi's presence. She moves with a grace that seems effortless, even as we navigate tricky terrain. At one point, she stumbles on a loose rock, and I instinctively reach out to steady her. My hand lingers on her arm a beat too long, and I feel her pulse quicken beneath my fingers. Thanks, she murmurs, her eyes meeting mine. Anytime, I reply, my voice low. No. We reach a clearing and Marcus suggests we take a break. As he rummages through his backpack for snacks, Naomi and I find ourselves standing at the edge of a breathtaking vista. The valley stretches out before us, a patchwork of greens and golds. It's beautiful, Naomi whispers. Yeah, I agree, but she doesn't realize that I'm not looking at the view. I'm watching the way the sunlight plays across her face, highlighting the curve of her cheekbone, the fullness of her lips. She turns, catching me staring. For a moment, neither of us moves. The air feels charged, like the moment before a thunderstorm breaks. Naomi, Guys, check this out! Marcus calls, breaking the spell. We step apart, the moment lost. The rest of the day is full of stolen glances, and I can't help noticing the small smile she keeps giving me. Back in the day, her hair flip meant she was flirting with me, and I've seen it multiple times today. Is that still what it means? As we head back to the cabin, I can't shake the feeling that something has shifted between us. Every accidental brush of our hands, every shared glance, feels loaded with meaning. It's going to be a long weekend.
Chapter 6. Naomi. The crackling fire casts a warm glow across the room, shadows dancing on the walls. I sit on the plush rug, my back against the couch, knees drawn to my chest. Damon's presence beside me is electric. "Where's Marcus?" I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. Damon shifts, his arm brushing mine. "Passed out. Too much of that fancy whiskey he brought." I chuckle softly, grateful for the moment of levity. "He's really predictable, isn't he?" "He is. But I'm glad he's had a good birthday weekend. I wasn't sure how it was going to go when we all got here." Silence falls between us, heavy with the weight of our shared history. I can feel Damon's eyes on me, studying my profile in the firelight. "Naomi," he starts, his voice low and hesitant. I owe you an apology." I turn to face him, surprised. "For what?" He runs a hand through his hair, a gesture so familiar it makes my heart ache. "For losing my cool at the cafe. I shouldn't have ambushed you like that." "Oh." I bite my lip, memories of that night flooding back. "It's okay. I understand why you were upset. I had that coming." "No, it's not okay," he insists. "I had no right to demand answers from you like that. It was unfair. And then when you gave them to me, I shouldn't have gotten so upset. It just wasn't what I expected to hear." "What did you expect?" "I'm not sure, but I was hoping whatever it was would make me feel better." I take a deep breath, steeling myself. "And I'm sorry too, for being a coward and trying to leave." He reaches out, his fingers grazing my cheek, wiping away a tear that has fallen. The touch sends a jolt through me, igniting something I've been trying to ignore all weekend. "Naomi," he breathes, his face inches from mine. I can't look away from his eyes, lost in their intensity. My heart pounds in my chest, every nerve ending alive with anticipation. "Damon, But I'm unable to finish. In one swift motion, Damon closes the distance between us, his lips crashing into mine. The kiss is desperate, passionate, years of pent-up emotion pouring out in a single moment. My hands find their way to his hair, pulling him closer as his arms wrap around my waist. The fire crackles, a symphony of embers that rival the pounding of my heart. Damon's lips are on mine, demanding and insistent, and every defense I've built crumbles under their pressure. "Damon," I murmur against his mouth, a feeble protest that even I can't believe. "Say yes, Naomi," he whispers, his voice ragged with need. "Tell me you want this too." I can't speak, so I answer with my hands, pulling him back to me, feeling the heat of his body against mine. It's as if no time has passed, our bodies remembering what our minds have tried so hard to forget. He pulls away just enough to look into my eyes, searching for any hint of uncertainty. "If you want me to stop, I will. I don't want to rush you," he says, though his breathing is heavy, his body tense with restraint. I smile, a genuine, heartfelt gesture that feels both foreign and right. You never did know how to take it slow, I tease, my fingers tracing the line of his jaw. His laughter is low, almost a growl. With you, I've never wanted to. We're a tangle of limbs and clothing, shedding the layers that have kept us apart for far too long. You're so beautiful, Damon murmurs, his eyes roaming over me with a reverence that takes my breath away. I never thought I'd hear you say that ever again, I reply, my hands exploring the contours of his body. I feel his hands caress my chest, and then his fingertips slowly brush the skin of my arms, traveling down to my back and grabbing my butt. His hands guide me until I'm flush against his chest. The feel of him, hard and insistent against my stomach, sends a jolt of electricity straight to my core. Our lips meet in a frenzy, tongues dancing in a rhythm as old as time. I've been waiting so damn long for this, he whispers. Show me how much you've missed me, I moan in his ear. His groan vibrates against my mouth, a sound so full of longing that it threatens to undo me completely. With a swift motion, Damon lays me back on the plush carpet, the firelight casting a golden hue over our entwined bodies. He kisses me with a desperation that speaks of years spent apart, his hands roaming over my body as if to memorize every curve. He moves lower, his lips leaving a trail of heat down my neck, over my collarbone, and to my sang. I arch into his touch, a soft moan escaping my lips as he teases me. But then, reality crashes in like a bucket of cold water. Damon, I gasp, my hands tangling in his hair as I pull him back up to me. What if Marcus wakes up and comes out? Tonight was the last night at the cabin, and I'm glad we made it count. I can worry about the consequences tomorrow. Looks like the level of passion in this chapter is pushing YouTube's limit.
It's disappointing, I know. Trust me when I say we want nothing more than to get down to the dirty details.
But releasing these free audiobooks on YouTube means that we have to abide by the rules.
Even though YouTube won't allow us to put something so spicy on the air, you can still find it on TylaWalker.com.
Miss Tyla has an unbelievable collection of uncut, unabridged audiobooks and ebooks.
For access to the full, unfiltered scene, go to TylaWalker.com and use code SAVE40 for 40% off any digital product.
This is the deal of a lifetime, a discount that can be applied to bundles that are already listed at a discounted price.
You heard that right. It's time for you to treat yourself.
With Miss Tyla.
Chapter 7. Damon. It's been a few days since Naomi and I shared our night in the cabin, and the longer I go without seeing her, the more I find myself missing her. Unable to tolerate not seeing her any longer, I shoot her a text asking her to meet me at Lazen Park in Center City. A date in Lakeview is just asking for trouble. If anyone happened to see us, the gossip would get back to Marcus before I could even finish dialing his number. I can't believe we're actually doing this. A secret meeting like when we were kids? We have to be crazy. I park my car in the secluded spot we agreed on, my heart racing with anticipation. The stars twinkle above, reminding me of stolen moments from our youth. I grab the picnic basket from the back seat and make my way to our meeting point. This has to be perfect. I want only the very best for her. I lay out a large plaid blanket and set the picnic basket on top of it. I light the candles and angle it all just right so we can watch the sunset. I finish up the spread and make my way back up to the street lamp, the one I told her to meet me at 7 p.m. sharp. Naomi's silhouette comes into view, her curls dancing in the gentle breeze. She turns, a smile lighting up her face. For a second there, I thought you might stand me up, she teases. And have you missed out on all of this? I gesture to the blanket down below, the candles flickering in the breeze. Damon, it's beautiful. You really outdid yourself. I've got to impress you somehow, I say with a smile as I offer her my arm. She takes it and we make our way down to our own little paradise. We settle onto the blanket. The city lights a distant glow behind us. I start unpacking the food, my fingers brushing against hers as I hand her a plate. So, Mr. Sinclair, what culinary delights have you prepared for us tonight? I grin, pulling out containers. Well, Miss James, we have an assortment of gourmet sandwiches, a fruit salad, and... I pause for dramatic effect. Your favorite lemon tarts for dessert. Her eyes widen. You remembered? How could I forget? You used to practically inhale these things. Naomi laughs, the sound sending a shiver down my spine. I still do. My sweet tooth hasn't changed. We fall into an easy rhythm, talking and laughing as we eat. But there's an undercurrent of tension, a spark that ignites every time our eyes meet. This feels like old times, Naomi says softly, her gaze fixed on the stars above us. I lean back on my elbows, watching her. Better, I'd say. We're not fumbling teenagers anymore. She turns to me, a mischievous glint in her eye. Oh? And what exactly are we now, Damon? The air between us crackles with electricity. I sit up, moving closer to her. I'm not sure, but I know I want to find out. Naomi's breath catches as I lean in, my lips hovering just inches from hers. Is this okay? I whisper. She nods, closing the distance between us. The kiss is soft at first, tentative, but quickly deepens. My hand finds its way to her waist, pulling her closer. When we finally break apart, we're both breathless. Naomi rests her forehead against mine, a smile playing on her lips. We should probably eat before the food gets cold, she murmurs. I chuckle, reluctantly pulling away. Always the practical one. As we continue our meal, stolen glances and lingering touches keep the tension simmering. The secrecy of our rendezvous adds an extra thrill, reminiscent of our teenage escapades. So, I start, my voice low. What are we doing here, Naomi? She meets my gaze, her brown eyes filled with a mix of emotions. I don't know, Damon, but I can't deny there's still something between us. I reach out, tucking a stray curl behind her ear. I feel it too. It's like no time has passed at all. Naomi leans into my touch, closing her eyes for a moment. But time has passed. We're not the same people we were back then. Maybe that's a good thing, I suggest. We've grown, learned from our mistakes. Maybe now we can make it work. She opens her eyes, a hint of vulnerability in her expression. And if we can't, what then? I take a deep breath, considering her words. Then at least we gave it a real shot this time. No running away, no unanswered questions. Naomi nods slowly. But we can't rush into this. There's too much at stake. Marcus, I say, voicing the elephant in the room. Exactly. He'd be caught in the middle if things went south, and neither of us want to hurt him. I run a hand through my hair, frustration bubbling up. So what do we do? Pretend this isn't happening? Naomi reaches out, taking my hand in hers. No, we take it slow. Keep it between us for now. Give ourselves time to figure out if this can really work before we involve anyone else. Relief washes over me. I can do that. As long as I get to be with you, I'm in. A smile spreads across her face, lighting up her eyes. You always did have a way with words, Sinclair. I can't help but grin back. Only for you, James. Only for you. I feel compelled to break the silence. It's crazy to think we're back here, I say, grabbing her hand and pulling her close. Just like old times. Except this time, we're not fumbling in the back of your dad's car, she teases, as a blush creeps across her cheeks. Hey, I remember you being just as clueless as I was. Fair point, she says with a smile. But I like to think I've improved since then. Wouldn't you say so? I press. I would say so. Naomi smiles as we remember our night together in the cabin. We settle back onto the blanket, Naomi curling into my side. The city lights twinkle in the distance, a stark contrast to the stars above us. I can feel her heart pounding against chest. My thoughts drift to what we could do out here on this blanket. I can't help myself. I lean down and kiss her. Our lips part, and our tongues tangle passionately. I was a fool to ever think I could get this woman out of my system completely. Chapter 8. Damon. I pace the length of my office, my fingers drumming an anxious rhythm against my thigh. The city sprawls out beneath me, a tapestry of lights and shadows, but I barely see it. My mind's consumed by thoughts of Naomi, of the secret meetings and stolen moments we've shared over the past few weeks. God, it's been incredible. Every time I see her, it's like I'm that lovesick teenager again, drunk on the possibilities of what we could be. But then reality comes crashing back, and I remember the ticking time bomb I'm sitting on. I know I'll be hearing from my associates soon. Everyone in Lakewood thinks I manage my parents' family business, and I do. But earlier years of being young and naive and too heartbroken to give a damn about my future, I made some damn choices and got involved with the wrong people. That's when I acquired my second job, so to speak. My job that involves me cooking the books to make it look like the money my associates are taking is still where it should be. But I haven't given them their updated monthly books yet because I've been stalling, trying to figure out my way out of this mess, and I've been consumed by a Naomi James. My phone buzzes and I snatch it up, hoping it's her. It's not. It's a message from one of them. My stomach churns as I read it. Damn, I mutter, tossing the phone onto my desk. I collapse into my chair, running my hands through my hair. How did I let things get this far? I was so caught up in the family legacy, in proving myself that I didn't see the trap until it was too late. And now? Now I'm in so deep I can barely see daylight. And Naomi, Christ, Naomi. She has no idea what she's walked back into. If she knew the truth, she'd run screaming. And I wouldn't blame her one bit. My phone buzzes again. This time, it is her. Hey, handsome, would you want to meet up? I can't help but smile, even as guilt gnaws at my insides. I want to accept her invitation so badly, but I know I can't until I figure this out. I type back, I would love to see you, darling, but I'm swamped with paperwork. My first lie to her. God damn it, Damon. Don't screw this up. As I head out the door to go home, I catch my reflection in the window. The man staring back at me looks haunted, torn between love and fear. I take a deep breath, steeling myself. You can fix this, I tell my reflection. You have to. But even as I say it, I know it won't be that simple. The web I'm tangled in is vast and dangerous. And now, with Naomi back in my life, the stakes are higher than ever. I'm not just risking myself anymore. I'm risking her too. And that thought terrifies me more than anything else. I toss and turn, the sheets tangling around my legs like a prison. Sleep eludes me, chased away by the demons of my past. The clock on my nightstand mocks me, its red digits a constant reminder of another sleepless night. My phone buzzes. It's Naomi. Can't sleep. Thinking of you. So, my heart clenches. I type back, same. Wish you were here. But even as I send it, guilt washes over me. If she knew the truth. I throw off the covers and walk to the kitchen, my bare feet cold against the hardwood floors. The city twinkles beyond my windows, oblivious to my inner turmoil. As I pour myself a glass of water, my hand shakes. A car backfires outside, and I nearly drop the glass. My nerves are shot to hell. Get it together, Sinclair, I mutter, gripping the counter. But it's getting harder to keep it together. Yesterday, I caught one of my employees giving me a strange look as I left the office. Did he know something? Or am I just being paranoid? And then there was that phone call from an unknown number. When I answered, there was just silence on the other end. But I could have sworn I heard breathing. I gulped down the water, wishing it was something stronger. But I need a clear head. I can't afford to make any mistakes now. I head back to my bedroom and notice I've missed a message. I cringe at the name across the screen. Meeting tomorrow, 3 p.m., usual place. My stomach churns again. These meetings never bring good news. I type back a confirmation, my fingers feeling numb. As I set the phone down, I catch sight of my reflection in the dark window. I barely recognize the man staring back at me. "What have you done?" I whisper to my ghostly image. The walls of my house seem to close in, the shadows in the corners growing darker. I feel trapped, cornered by my own choices. And Naomi. God, Naomi. She's the one bright spot in all this darkness. But how long before my past taints her too? How long before everything I've built comes crashing down around me? I sink to the floor, my back against the bedroom door. The weight of my secrets presses down on me, threatening to crush me. I can't lose her, I whisper into the darkness. I can't lose everything. But as the night stretches on, endless and unforgiving, I can't shake the feeling that it's already too late to turn my life around.
Chapter 9. Naomi. I pace Damon's house, my fingers tracing the edge of his sleek coffee table, waiting for him to get home. He's been dodging me lately, and I deserve to know why. He seems reluctant to answer my texts or calls, so I have no choice but to wait until he gets here. So be it if I'm being the crazy ex-girlfriend right now. What could it be? Has he changed his mind about us? I continue my pacing. The place is immaculate, as always, but something feels off. My eyes land on a slightly ajar drawer in his desk. Curiosity gets the better of me. Inside, I find a folder. Innocuous enough, but when I open it, my breath catches. Financial records, transactions with names I can't pronounce, amounts that make my head spin. My heart pounds as I leaf through the pages, each one more damning than the last. The door clicks open. I whirl around, the folder clutched to my chest. Damon steps in, his smile fading as he takes in my expression. "Naomi? What are you doing here? What's wrong?" I hold up the folder, my hand shaking. "What the hell is this, Damon?" His face drains of color. He reaches for the documents, but I step back. "Explain," I demand, my voice barely above a whisper. "Where did you find that?" He runs a hand through his hair, his eyes darting between me and the folder. "That doesn't matter. What matters is what's in it." I flip open to a particularly incriminating page. These numbers, these names. Damon, what have you gotten yourself into? He takes a deep breath, his shoulders sagging. "It's complicated, Naomi. Then uncomplicate it for me." My voice cracks, betraying the hurt and confusion swirling inside me. Damon moves towards the couch, sinking down onto it. "I never wanted you to find out like this. I've been trying to figure out how to tell you, how to make it right." Make what right? I remain standing, the folder a barrier between us. I stare at him, my heart pounding so hard I can feel it in my throat. The folder in my hand suddenly feels like it weighs a ton. "I'm trying to get out of it. It's not something I need you to worry about, okay? It's my problem. I'll get myself out of it." "What exactly are you trying to get out of, Damon?" He leans forward, elbows on his knees, hands clasped tightly. "It started small, just a few favors, you know. But before I knew it, I was in deep. These people, they're not the kind you can just walk away from." "What people?" I demand, my voice rising. "What kind of favors?" His eyes meet mine, and I see a mixture of shame and fear that makes my stomach churn. Money laundering mostly. My job is to fix the books for them. There's also some insider trading. I didn't want to, Naomi, but they had leverage, and I— Stop, I cut him off, holding up a hand. Just stop. I drop the folder onto the coffee table and sink into the armchair across from him. My mind is reeling, trying to reconcile the man I thought I knew with this criminal. How long? I ask, my voice barely audible. 3 years, he admits, and I feel like I've been punched in the gut. 3 years? I echo, incredulous. And you didn't think to mention this before we started? Whatever this is between us? Damon reaches for my hand, but I pull away. I wanted to tell you, but I was trying to keep you safe. I've been trying to find a way out, to make things right. I thought if I could just fix it. Fix it? I interrupt, anger flaring. This isn't like some broken toy. What you've been doing is illegal. This is dangerous. Do you have any idea what you've done? What you've dragged me into? He flinches at my words, and I see genuine remorse in his eyes. But it's not enough. Not nearly enough. I never meant to put you in danger, he says softly. I thought I could protect you, keep you separate from all this. I laugh, but it's a harsh, bitter sound. Protect me? By lying to me? By involving me in your crimes without my knowledge or consent? I stand up abruptly, my legs shaky beneath me. I can't do this right now, Damon. I need to think. Naomi, please, he pleads, reaching for me. Let me explain. Explain what? I snap, jerking away from his touch. How you've been lying to me since the moment we reconnected? How you've put everything, your future, my future, us, at risk. His face crumples, and for a moment, I almost cave. But the hurt, the betrayal, it's too raw. I trusted you, I whisper, my voice breaking. After everything we've been through, I thought this time would be different. It is different, he insists, his blue eyes swimming with unshed tears. I love you. You have to understand I was trying my best to protect you. By keeping me in the dark? I shake my head, backing towards the door. That's not protection, Damon. That's control. That's exactly why I left all those years ago. The words hang between us, heavy and painful. He flinches as if I've slapped him. I need to go, I mutter, fumbling for my purse. I can't be here right now. As I step out into the hallway, I hear Damon call out one last time. Naomi, I'm sorry. I love you. I close the door behind me, leaning against it for a moment as tears start to fall. I love you too, I whisper to the empty corridor. But I don't know if that's enough anymore.
Chapter 10. Damon. I'm sitting in my chair thinking about the look on Naomi's face when she walked out my door, when the buzz of my phone cuts through the silence of my house. Marcus's name flashes on the screen, and a knot forms in my stomach. I take a deep breath before answering. Hey, Marcus. What's up? Damon, he says, his voice tight with barely contained anger. We need to talk. Can you come over? My heart races. Sure, man. Everything okay? Just get here, he snaps before hanging up. Damned. What's got him so worked up? Could Naomi have— No, we agreed to keep things quiet. I dial her number, but it goes straight to voicemail. Naomi, it's me. I know you're upset with me, but call me back as soon as you can, okay? It's important. I grab my keys and head out, my mind spinning with possibilities. The drive to Marcus's place feels endless, each traffic light an eternity. When I arrive, Marcus opens the door before I can knock, his jaws clenched, eyes blazing. Come in, he says, his words clipped. I follow him into the living room, tension crackling in the air between us. What's going on, Marcus? I ask, trying to keep my voice steady. He turns to face me, arms crossed. I've been hearing things, Damon. Rumors about you and Naomi. My stomach drops, but I keep my face neutral. What kind of rumors? Don't play dumb, he growls. Are you two together? I hesitate, remembering my promise to Naomi. We'd agreed to keep things under wraps until we were sure. She's already pissed at me. I can't betray her any further. No, man. We're not together, I lie, hating the words as they leave my mouth. Marcus's eyes narrow. You're sure about that? Because I've got people telling me they've seen you two out together, looking pretty cozy. I force a laugh, though it sounds hollow even to my ears. Come on, Marcus. You know how people talk. Naomi and I are friends, that's all. Friends, he repeats, disbelief evident in his tone. So you're telling me there's nothing going on between you and my sister? The weight of the lie sits heavy on my chest, but I push through. That's exactly what I'm telling you. We're just friends, Marcus. Nothing more. Marcus's face contorts with fury, his eyes blazing. You're lying to me, he roars, slamming his fist on the coffee table. The impact sends a vase toppling, water spilling across the polished surface. I flinch, my resolve crumbling. Marcus, Tell me the truth, he demands, his voice echoing off the walls. Are you sleeping with my sister? The weight of the lie becomes unbearable. I close my eyes, taking a deep breath. Yes, I admit, my voice barely above a whisper. Marcus's face falls, hurt replacing anger for a moment. How long? He asks, his voice dangerously low. A few weeks, I say, running a hand through my hair. We didn't want to tell you until we were sure. Sure of what? He snaps. Sure you could keep lying to me. No, we just wanted to protect you, man. We've always... I stop abruptly, realizing my mistake. Marcus's eyes narrow. Wait, what do you mean by always? My heart pounds in my chest. There's no going back now. Marcus, there's something else you should know, I say, steeling myself. Naomi and we had a relationship when we were teenagers. The silence that follows is deafening. Marcus stares at me, his face a mask of disbelief and betrayal. You and Naomi, he whispers, his voice trembling. All this time? It was years ago, I explain hastily. We were young and... You violated our trust. Marcus explodes, his face contorted with rage. My best friend and my sister, sneaking around behind my back? How could you do this to me? We never meant to hurt you, Marcus, I plead, taking a step towards him. We care about you. Care about me? He scoffs, backing away. If you cared about me, you wouldn't have lied for years. You wouldn't be sneaking around now. It's not like that, I argue, frustration creeping into my voice. We're adults, Marcus. We can make our own decisions. Oh, so now you're throwing it in my face, Marcus snarls, his fists clenching at his sides. You think you can just waltz in and take advantage of my sister? Take advantage? I repeat, incredulous. Naomi's a grown woman, Marcus. She can decide for herself who she wants to be with. And she chose you? He sneers. A liar and a cheat? His words hit me like a physical blow. That's not fair, I growl, anger rising in my chest. You don't know everything about us. I know enough, Marcus spits. I know you've been lying to me for years. I know you've betrayed my trust. What else is there to know? Marcus's eyes, usually warm and inviting, now burn with a fury I've never seen before. His fists clench and unclench at his sides, and I can practically see the storm brewing inside him. Suddenly his fist connects with my jaw. The impact sends me staggering backward, pain exploding across my face. What the hell, Marcus? I shout, tasting blood in my mouth. He doesn't respond, just lunges at me again. This time I'm ready. I dodge his swing and grab his arm, using his momentum to push him away. Stop! I yell. This isn't going to solve anything. But Marcus is beyond reason. He charges at me like a bull, tackling me to the ground. We crash into the coffee table, sending books and papers flying. "You betrayed me!" he roars, raining blows down on me. I block what I can, but some get through. Pain blossoms across my ribs and my arms. "If you'd let me explain," I gasp. But there's no explaining to be done. Not now. Not like this. I manage to get my feet under him and shove, sending him tumbling off me. We both scramble to our feet, circling each other like boxers in a ring. Blood trickles from a cut above Marcus's eye, and I can feel my own lips swelling. "Is this what you want?" I pant. "To throw away years of friendship?" "You threw it away first the second you touched my sister," he shouts, lunging at me again. He raises his fist again, but this time, I fight back. I dodge his hit, and he takes my fist to the jaw. We grapple, crashing into walls and furniture. Picture frames fall, shattering on the hardwood floor. Our grunts and curses almost drown out the sound of breaking glass. Suddenly, a voice cuts through the chaos. "Stop it! Both of you!" We freeze, turning to see Naomi standing in the doorway, her eyes wide with horror. "What are you doing?" she cries, rushing between us. "Stay out of this, Naomi," Marcus says, his eyes locked on me. "No!" she shouts, pushing against his chest. "I won't let you do this." I take a step back, wiping blood from my lip. "Naomi, it's okay. I can handle—" "Shut up, Damon!" she snaps, turning to glare at me. "This is insane! You're supposed to be best friends!" Marcus laughs bitterly. "Friends don't lie for years. Friends don't sneak around with each other's sisters." Naomi's face falls. "You told him?" "I had to," I say softly. "He deserved to know the truth." The fight seems to drain out of Marcus. He slumps against the wall, looking utterly defeated. "How could you both do this to me?" he whispers.
Chapter 11. Naomi. Damon grunts in pain but doesn't relent. "I love her," he shouts back, his voice raw with emotion. "I've always loved her." His words hit me like a physical blow. I stumble back, my mind reeling. The intensity in Damon's voice, the desperation in his eyes as he looks at me over Marcus's shoulder. It's all too much. "Please," I whisper, tears streaming down my face. "Please stop." Something in my voice finally breaks through their anger. They separate, chests heaving, glaring at each other from opposite ends of the room. "Naomi," Damon says, taking a step toward me. His blue eyes are filled with a mixture of pain and hope. "I'm sorry for everything. I never meant to hurt you or Marcus. I couldn't stay away from you." Marcus scoffs, but I barely hear him. I'm too focused on Damon, on the sincerity in his voice, the vulnerability in his expression. It's a side of him I've rarely seen, and it makes my heart ache. "I was going to end it," I admit, my voice barely above a whisper. "After what I found out, I thought I couldn't trust you anymore." Damon flinches as if I've struck him, but he doesn't look away. "I understand," he says softly. "I wouldn't blame you if you did. But Naomi, please believe me when I say that my feelings for you are real. They always have been." I close my eyes, overwhelmed by the conflicting emotions surging through me. The betrayal and hurt are still there, but so is the undeniable connection I feel with Damon. The passion I saw in him as he fought for me. It wasn't just physical. It was emotional, raw, and genuine. When I open my eyes again, I find both men watching me, waiting for my reaction. Marcus looks angry and concerned, while Damon's expression is a mixture of hope and resignation. "I need time," I say finally, my voice stronger than I feel. It's too much. I can't make any decisions right now." Damon nods, understanding in his eyes. "Take all the time you need," he says softly. "I'll be here when you're ready to talk." As I turn to leave, I catch a glimpse of myself in the hallway mirror. My eyes are red-rimmed, my hair a mess. But there's a spark of something in my expression that wasn't there before. Hope, maybe. Or the realization that sometimes love is messy and complicated, but that doesn't make it any less real. After seeing Damon fight over me, it just proves how much I want him, but I need him to clean up his mess. I need to be able to start over, and we can't do that with his business mess over our heads. He has to be willing to fix his mistakes, or we won't survive this. The next morning I wake up, knowing what I need to do. I love Damon, but he has to choose me. If I'm risking the relationship with my brother, he can risk his career by doing the right thing. I stand outside Damon's house, my heart pounding in my chest. The weight of what I'm about to do settles heavily on my shoulders. With a deep breath, I knock on the door. He opens it, his blue eyes widening in surprise. "Naomi? I wasn't expecting—" "We need to talk," I interrupt, pushing past him into the house. He closes the door, turning to face me with a wary expression. "What's going on?" I square my shoulders, meeting his gaze head on. "I can't do this anymore. The lies, the danger, it's too much. Naomi, No," I cut him off again. "Let me finish. I love you, but I can't be with someone who's okay with my life and my livelihood being in danger. It goes against everything I believe in, everything I've worked for." His face falls, a mixture of guilt and pain etching itself across his features. "I understand," he says softly. "Do you?" I challenge. "Because I'm giving you a choice right now. Either you walk away from this illegal business completely, or we're done, for good this time." He takes a step toward me, reaching out, but I hold up a hand to stop him. "I mean it. I can't live like this, always looking over my shoulder, wondering when it's all going to come crashing down." The silence stretches between us, thick and heavy. I watch as a myriad of emotions play across Damon's face: fear, regret, and finally, determination. "You're right," he says, his voice barely above a whisper. "I've been trying to convince myself that I could handle it and find a way out without consequences, but I can't." I hold my breath, hardly daring to hope. "What are you saying?" He meets my gaze, his blue eyes filled with resolve. "I'm saying I choose you, Naomi. I'll come clean about everything and face whatever consequences I have to. I can't lose you or Marcus. You're too important to me. I love you, Naomi." Relief washes over me, but I don't let it show just yet. "Are you sure? This could mean jail time, Damon. Your reputation—" "Doesn't matter," he interrupts firmly. "Not compared to you. To us. I'll do whatever it takes to make this right." I search his face, looking for any sign of hesitation or deceit, but all I see is sincerity and love. Slowly, I nod. "Okay," I whisper. "Okay. But I need you to be patient, okay? I'm not sure how long it will take, or what the outcome of me telling the truth will be. I need to know that if I do this, you'll be waiting for me when it all levels out." "Of course. If you're willing to do this for me, I'll wait for you as long as it takes. I'll even help you figure out what we need to do to get you cleared from this." He shakes his head. "No, Naomi, you can't do that. I don't want to involve you in this any more than I already have." My hand brushes his cheek. "You don't have to do things alone anymore. We're in this together."
You think you can catch me? You think you can tame me?
Oh, I know I can. And you know it too, baby.
I gotta tell you, you're not the first to try.
But don't worry, baby. I'll be the last.
With sass like that, maybe I'll be the one that needs to tame you.
Let's cut to the chase, big boy. What you selling me?
Your appetite is big AF. I have just the thing that'll satisfy you.
Oh, really? And what's that?
Over 120 hours of romance audiobooks. Brought to you by Tyla Walker Romances in the Big AF audio bundle.
120 hours? That sounds amazing.
Your knees won't work afterwards if I do my job right.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Well, I can keep this promise. Because these audiobooks are unabridged with all the spicy scenes that will make you put your earbuds on. You know, Tyla can get freaky because she marked the bundle down by 69% for a limited time.
I can't wait to take this bundle for a ride.
Visit TylaWalker.com and get this audio bundle. Just don't start listening if you're going to be cooking dinner, because you might just forget to feed your family.
TylaWalker.com. Escape your life with Tyla.
Chapter 12. Naomi. I think we need to ask Marcus for help, I say as I sit at the kitchen table, eating breakfast with Damon. I just can't stand the silence between Marcus and me any longer. It's like a physical ache gnawing at my insides. I need my big brother, now more than ever. What do you mean? He asks behind a mouthful of eggs. We have to tell Marcus everything, I say, my voice barely above a whisper. We need his help figuring out how to get you out of this. Damon's blue eyes widen, a flicker of fear crossing his face. No way. There's no way we're doing that. He's already so pissed at me for being with you. He would come undone completely if he knew what was going on, what I involved you in. Damon, we have to. I don't know where else to turn. Are you sure? He might not. He's my brother, I interrupt, reaching out and squeezing Damon's hand. And he was your best friend. He'll want to help us figure this out. Plus, we owe him the truth. Fine, but this was your idea, Damon says, his eyes pleading with me to reconsider. What other choice do we have? I ask, more to myself than anyone. The drive to Marcus's house feels endless. My stomach churns with each passing mile. When we finally pull up, I hesitate before knocking, my fist hovering inches from the door. Here goes nothing, I mutter, rapping my knuckles against the wood. Let's hope he doesn't hit me again, Damon laughs nervously. Marcus opens the door, his expression hardening when he sees us. What do you two want? To talk, I say, meeting his gaze. Please, Marcus, just hear us out. He steps aside, letting us in. The tension in the room is palpable as we settle in his living room. I know you're angry, I begin, my voice shaking. And you have every right to be, but Marcus, Damon, and I, we love each other, and we need your help. Marcus scoffs, crossing his arms. Help with what? Lying to me some more? No, Damon interjects, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. The opposite, actually. We want to come clean about everything. I watch as confusion replaces anger on Marcus's face. What do you mean, everything? Damon takes a deep breath, then launches into the story of his involvement in illegal activities. He tells him everything he told me about his getting wrapped up with the wrong people, and I watch as Marcus's face grows more and more grave. When Damon finishes, silence descends upon us. I can't bear it anymore. Marcus, please, I plead. I know this is a lot to take in, but we need your help. We want to make this right, but we don't know how. Marcus runs a hand over his face, exhaling slowly. You're telling me that not only have you two been lying about your relationship, but Damon's been involved in illegal business dealings? And now you want my help? Yes, I whisper, reaching for his hand. You're the smartest person we know, Marcus. If anyone can help us figure out a way to resolve this mess, it's you. I watch Marcus's face, hoping for a glimmer of understanding, but all I see is a storm brewing in his dark eyes. The silence stretches, taut as a bowstring. Damon leans forward, his blue eyes intense. Marcus, I'll do whatever it takes to make this right. Make it right? He explodes, jumping to his feet. You've been lying to me for years. You've been involved in God knows what kind of illegal, and now you're dragging my sister into it? I flinch at his words. Marcus, please. No, Naomi. He cuts me off, his gaze burning into mine. Don't you dare defend him. You're just as bad. Both of you, lying to my face, sneaking around behind my back. We didn't mean to hurt you, I whisper, my voice trembling. Marcus laughs, a harsh, bitter sound that makes my skin crawl. Hurt me? You've shattered every ounce of trust I had in you. Both of you. Damon stands, reaching out to him. We're asking for your help because we trust you. We need you. Trust me? Marcus spits the words like venom. That's a joke. You don't trust me. If you did, you would have told me about this mess long ago. I feel tears pricking at my eyes. Please, we're family. Family? He turns to me, his eyes blazing. Family doesn't lie like this. Family doesn't put each other in danger. We're trying to fix it, Damon insists, desperation creeping into his voice. Marcus whirls on him. Fix it? You want me to clean up your mess, is that it? Well, guess what? I want nothing to do with either of you or your problems. Marcus, don't... I start, but he's already striding towards the door. Get out, he growls, yanking it open. Both of you, and don't come back. We both saunter out, my heart breaking in the process. I turn to face him. Marcus, I begin. I'm met with the slam of the door. All that's left is Damon and I standing on the stoop in stunned silence. What do we do now? I whisper, my voice hoarse. He pulls me closer, but I can feel the tension in his body. I don't know, Naomi. We get back in the car and head back to Damon's place. The silence hangs in the air between us until Damon breaks it. We're going to be okay. Are you sure? How are we going to do this without his help? I ask nervously. I'm not sure, but I know we've made it through every obstacle thrown at us. We'll make it through this one too. We just have to come up with a plan. Let's go home and work on it, okay? I suggest. He nods, kissing my hand, and drives us back to his house.
Chapter 13. Damon. I lean back in my chair, the leather creaking under my weight as I stare at the laptop screen. The plan Naomi and I have crafted seems solid, but my gut churns with unease. Something's off. Hey, you okay? Naomi's voice cuts through my thoughts. She's curled up on the couch, a mug of tea cradled in her hands. I force a smile. Yeah, just thinking. She raises an eyebrow. About? Nothing important. The lie tastes bitter on my tongue. She sets down her mug and joins me at the desk. Her warmth seeps into my skin as she leans over my shoulder. Damon, we're in this together. No more secrets, remember? I nod, guilt gnawing at me. But how can I tell her about the sideways glances, the hushed conversations that stop when I enter a room, the growing paranoia that's eating me alive? My phone buzzes, a text from an unknown number. Loyalty is everything. Don't do anything stupid. Ice floods my veins. I quickly lock the screen, but Naomi's sharp intake of breath tells me she saw it. What was that? Her voice trembles slightly. I swallow hard. Nothing. Damon. Her tone is steel wrapped in silk. Don't lie to me. I run a hand through my hair, conflict tearing me apart. I think they're onto me. There've been signs, whispers, and now this. I hand her my phone to see the message. She pales but squares her shoulders. We knew this wouldn't be easy, but we can't back down now. I know, but... No buts. She grabs my hand, her grip fierce. We're getting you out of this, Damon, no matter what. I want to believe her. God, I want to. But the threat of that message hangs over us like a storm cloud, dark and ominous. And I can't shake the feeling that this is just the beginning. I step out of the office building the next morning, loosening my tie as I head towards my car. The sun's setting, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, but I can't appreciate the view. My mind's racing, replaying the tense meeting I just left. As I approach my car, something catches my eye. a small white envelope tucked under the windshield wiper. My heart rate spikes. This isn't some flyer for a local pizza joint. I glance around the parking lot, empty. With trembling hands, I snatch the envelope and tear it open. The message is short, typed in bold letters. "We know what you're planning, Sinclair. Betrayal has consequences. Think of Naomi." My blood runs cold. They know about Naomi. How? We've been so careful. I crumple the note in my fist, fighting the urge to vomit. The threat's clear as day. They're watching me, watching us. My phone buzzes. It's Naomi. "Hey, you on your way?" Her voice is light, unaware of the danger we're in. "Yeah, just got held up at work." I hate lying to her again, but I can't drop this bomb over the phone. "I'll be there soon." "Everything okay? You sound off." I force a chuckle. "Just tired. Long day, you know." "All right. Drive safe. Love you." "Love you too." I end the call and slump against my car. And how am I supposed to tell her that she's being dragged further into this mess? They know about my being with her. She's no longer safe. The drive home is a blur. My mind's a war zone, strategizing and panicking in equal measure. I burst through the front door, startling Naomi, who's curled up on the couch with a book. "Damon? What's wrong?" I cross the room in 3 strides, pulling her into a tight embrace. "I'm so sorry, Naomi." She pulls back, confusion etched on her face. "What? Why? What happened?" I take a deep breath and show her the crumpled note. As she reads it, her eyes widen in horror. "Oh my God," she whispers. "They know about me." I nod grimly. "We're not safe here anymore. We need to disappear, at least for a while." Naomi's quiet for a moment, processing. Then she squares her shoulders, determination blazing in her eyes. "Okay, where do we go?" Her strength amazes me. Even now, facing unknown dangers, she's ready to fight. For us. "I have an idea," I say, already moving towards the bedroom to pack. "But we need to move fast. They could be watching the house." As we throw clothes into bags, a new fear grips me. What if we're already too late? "We need to move faster," I mutter, more to myself than to her. She looks up, her brow furrowed. "Damon, we're doing everything we can. Rushing could lead to mistakes." I run a hand through my hair, frustration bubbling up. "Mistakes? Naomi, we're already neck-deep in this mess. One wrong move and we're—" "Don't." Her voice is sharp, cutting through my spiral. "We can't afford to panic now." I stop pacing, meeting her gaze. The determination in her eyes steadies me, but it doesn't erase the gnawing fear in my gut. "You're right," I concede, dropping onto the couch beside her. I can't shake the feeling we're being watched." Her hand finds mine, her touch grounding. "Then we act like we are. No suspicious behavior, no rushed movements. We stick to our routine and execute the plan carefully." I nod, squeezing her hand. "Okay. What's our next move?" She turns the laptop towards me, showing a map with several highlighted routes. "I've mapped out 3 potential escape routes. We need to scout them without raising suspicion." I lean in, studying the screen. The coastal route looks promising. Less populated, easier to lose a tail if we need to. "My thoughts exactly," Naomi agrees. "We'll need to gather supplies discreetly. Non-perishable food, cash, burner phones." The reality of what we're planning hits me anew. God, Naomi, I never wanted to drag you into this kind of life. For damn sake, you're supposed to start your job on Monday. Maybe you were right to leave back then, knowing I would somehow jeopardize your future. She cups my face, her eyes fierce. You didn't drag me anywhere. I chose this. I chose us. I lean into her touch, drawing strength from her unwavering support. Sometimes futures change, Jobs will come and go, but I don't know if another chance for us to be together will present itself. We've burned all our bridges, she says with a sigh. I pull her close, breathing in her familiar scent. We're going to make it through this, I whisper, as much to convince myself as her. She nods against my chest. We will. Together. Chapter 14. Damon. I still can't shake the feeling that something's off. Our carefully laid plans keep hitting unexpected snags. Damon! Naomi's voice cuts through my spiraling thoughts. You're doing it again. I blink, realizing I've been staring at the same spot on the wall for who knows how long. Sorry, something doesn't feel right. She sits beside me, her warmth a stark contrast to the chill of dread creeping up my spine. Talk to me. What's going on in that head of yours? I run a hand through my hair, trying to organize my thoughts. It's like we're being outmaneuvered at every turn. These aren't random setbacks anymore. Her brow furrows. You think someone knows we're planning to leave? Before I can answer, the lights flicker and die. The sudden darkness sends my heart racing. Damn, I mutter, reaching for her hand. We gotta go. Now. We make our way to the front door, guided by the dim glow of our phones. I ease it open, peering into the night. Clear, I whisper. Let's... A blinding light floods the yard, accompanied by the unmistakable sound of multiple guns being cocked. Going somewhere, Sinclair? A gruff voice calls out. My blood runs cold. I know that voice. Jake, one of my associates. The man behind the scenes who orchestrates everything. Jake! I call out, shielding Naomi behind me. What the hell is this? His laugh is cold, humorless. Did you really think you could just walk away? After everything you know? Figures emerge from the shadows, armed and menacing. We're surrounded. Look, I say, trying to keep my voice steady. This doesn't have to end badly. We can talk this out. Jake steps forward, his face twisted in a sneer. Oh, we're way past talking, Damon. The boss wants answers, and he wants them now. Leave her out of this. Let me get her to safety, then you can have me. He chuckles. Not happening. You've drug her into this. Now she knows too much. I feel Naomi tense behind me. Her voice is low, barely audible. Damon, what do we do? My mind races, searching for a way out. But with guns trained on us from every angle, our options are quickly dwindling to zero. Last chance, Sinclair, Jake barks. Both of you need to come with us quietly or things get messy. I lock eyes with Naomi, silently communicating what we both know. There's no clean way out of this. Whatever happens next, it's going to get ugly. I grab her hand, my heart pounding in my ears. Follow my lead. Now. We dart back into the house. Gunshots ring out in the peripheral, and she screams. My mind races, searching for an escape route we might have overlooked. Damn! Where do we go now? I yell angrily. The basement, she whispers urgently. There's a small window. A crash echoes from the front of the house. They're inside. Go, I hiss, pushing her towards the basement door. I'll hold them off. Her eyes widen. No, we stick together. Damn it, Naomi. This isn't a debate, I growl, already scanning the room for anything I can use as a weapon. My hand closes around a knife I find in the kitchen. It's not much, but it'll have to do. The sound of splintering wood fills the air as Jake and his goons force their way through another door. We're running out of time. Naomi, please, I plead, my voice cracking. I can't let them hurt you. I'll be right behind you. I know I'm lying to her, and it pains me that my last words to her will be a lie, but I know that's the only way I'll get her to leave me behind. She hesitates for a split second before nodding. As she disappears down the basement steps, I position myself in front of the door, ready to buy her as much time as I can. Jake's voice booms from just around the corner. Come out, wherever you are. I tighten my grip on the knife. You want me? Come and get me, you son of a... The words die in my throat as a figure bursts through the doorway. But it's not Jake. Marcus! I gasp, lowering the makeshift weapon. He's breathing hard, his eyes wild. What the hell, I just came to talk. Where's Naomi? Before I can answer, a bullet whizzes past, embedding itself in the wall inches from Marcus's head. Damn, he mutters, ducking down. We need to get out of here. Now. I gesture towards the basement. Naomi? Another shot rings out, closer this time. Jake's voice follows, dripping with malice. Time's up, Sinclair. Marcus grabs my arm, his grip like iron. Move. My car is around back. As we stumble towards the basement, I can't help but ask, why are you here? His jaw clenches. Because no matter how pissed I am, she's still my sister and you used to be my best friend. I nod at Marcus, a mix of relief and tension coursing through me. We dash down the basement stairs, the sound of heavy footsteps echoing above us. Naomi? I whisper shout into the darkness. Here, comes her hushed reply from the far corner. Marcus reaches her first, his protective instincts kicking in. We're getting you out of here, sis. I scan the room, spotting the small window Naomi mentioned. That's our exit. It'll be tight, but... A crash from upstairs cuts me off. Jake's voice booms, closer now. Check the basement! Damn, Marcus mutters. I'll boost Naomi up. You cover us. I grip the knife tighter, positioning myself at the foot of the stairs. Like old times, huh? You? Me? Against the world? A ghost of a smile flickers across Marcus's face. Let's hope we're better at this than we were at sneaking beers from my dad's fridge. Naomi interjects. As touching as this reunion is, can we maybe focus on not dying? The basement door splinters open. I brace myself. Go! I've got this! Jake's goon appears at the bottom of the stairs. I swing the knife, the handle connecting with a satisfying thud to the temple. He crashes to the floor, out cold. Damon! Naomi calls. We're through! I turn to see her disappearing through the window, Marcus right behind her. He pauses, looking back at me. Come on, man. We're not leaving you behind. I dash towards the window, but a shot rings out, splintering the wooden frame inches from my head. Jake's angry bellow follows. You're dead, Sinclair. Marcus reaches through the window, grabbing my arm. Move your ass! I scramble through, feeling the sting of glass cutting my side. But I'm out, gulping in the night air like a drowning man. Naomi's at my side in an instant, her hands checking me for injuries. Are you okay? Never better, I manage, trying to catch my breath. Where's your car, Marcus? He jerks his head towards the street. This way. As we sprint towards our escape, I can't help but feel a glimmer of hope. We're not out of the woods yet, but with Marcus back on our side, our odds just got a hell of a lot better.
Chapter 15. Naomi. The tires screech as Marcus floors it, peeling away from Damon's place. My heart's pounding so hard I can barely hear myself think. I'm wedged in the back seat, knuckles white as I grip the leather. Everyone okay? Marcus barks, eyes darting between the road and the rearview mirror. Define okay, Damon mutters, twisting to look out the rear window. I think we lost them, but... A bullet punches through the back windshield, spraying glass. I yelp, ducking down. Spoke too soon, he growls, swerving hard. The car fishtails, tires shrieking. My stomach lurches as we careen around a corner, barely missing a parked truck. Where are we going? I gasp, struggling to sit up. Anywhere but here, Damon says, his voice tight. He reaches back, squeezing my knee. Stay down, Naomi. Another shot rings out, pinging off the trunk. Marcus curses, accelerating harder. We tear through empty streets, the pursuing car's headlights flashing in and out of view. Just when I think we've lost them, Marcus slams on the brakes. The seatbelt cuts into my chest as we skid to a stop. "What the—" Damon starts, but his words die as I see what he spotted. 3 black SUVs block the road ahead, men with guns pouring out. We're trapped. "Damn," Marcus hisses, throwing the car into reverse. But it's too late. Our pursuers screech to a halt behind us, boxing us in. The acrid smell of burning rubber fills the air. "Out of the car!" Jake bellows. "Now!" Damon's eyes meet mine in the rearview mirror. "Whatever happens," he says softly, "I love you." My throat tightens. "I love you too." Marcus's jaw clenches as he surveys the situation. "We're not going down without a fight," he growls. "You hear me?" I nod, adrenaline surging. This is it, our last shot. As one, we throw open the car doors, using them as shields. Bullets immediately start flying, pinging off metal. I duck down, heart racing. "There!" Damon shouts, pointing to a nearby alley. "Cover!" We make a break for it, zigzagging as we run. I feel the wind of near misses and hear the crack of gunshots all around us. We dive behind a dumpster, gasping for air. Marcus pulls out a gun I didn't even know he had. "Here," he says, pressing it into my hands. "Just in case." I try to give it back to him, but he doesn't give me a chance. The weight of it is unfamiliar, terrifying. But as I look at my brother and the man I love, I know I'll do whatever it takes to protect them. My fingers tremble around the unfamiliar weight of the gun Marcus handed me. Damon's eyes lock with mine, a silent promise passing between us. "We need to move," Marcus shouts, his voice barely audible above the din. "On 3. I nod, steeling myself. Damon reaches for my hand, giving it a quick squeeze. 1, 2, 3. We burst from behind the dumpster. Bullets whiz past, too close for comfort. My heart pounds in my ears as we dash towards a nearby warehouse. Suddenly, Damon cries out. He stumbles, clutching his side. Blood seeps between his fingers. "Damon!" I scream, reaching for him. He grits his teeth, pushing me forward. "Keep going!" We make it to the warehouse, crashing through a side door. Marcus slams it shut behind us, dragging a heavy shelf to barricade it. "Let me see," I demand, pulling Damon's hand away from his wound. He hisses in pain as I examine it. The bullet grazed his side, leaving a nasty gash. It's bleeding heavily, but it doesn't look life-threatening. "I'm fine," Damon insists, his face pale. "We have to keep going. We need to end this." Marcus scans the warehouse. "There's got to be a way to the roof. We might have a better vantage point from up there." Damon nods, pushing himself to his feet. He sways slightly, and I grab his arm to steady him. "You're in no condition to fight," I argue. His blue eyes flash with determination. "I got us into this mess. I'm getting us out." Before I can protest further, we hear footsteps approaching. Marcus motions towards a metal staircase. "Up there," he whispers. "Quick!" We ascend as quietly as possible, emerging onto the roof. The cool night air hits my face, a stark contrast to the stuffy warehouse below. Damon stumbles, leaning heavily against a ventilation unit. His breathing is labored, and I can see the pain etched across his face. "There," Marcus hisses, pointing to a figure emerging from a sleek black car. Damon's eyes narrow. "It's time to end this," he growls, pushing himself upright. "Damon, no!" I grab his arm. "You're hurt." He cups my face, his touch gentle despite the urgency of the moment. "I have to do this, Naomi. For us. For our future." Before I can stop him, he's moving towards the fire escape. Marcus curses under his breath but follows, covering Damon as they descend. I watch, heart in my throat, as Damon confronts Jake. Even injured, He moves with a fierce determination. They exchange words I can't hear, tension radiating between them. "Come here, asshole," Damon yells. Jake turns around right as Damon tackles him, knocking him over, and the gun flies from his hand. I watch it slide across the floor, and for a second I'm relieved it's away from them and out of arm's reach. Suddenly, Jake's back up and lunges at Damon. They grapple, trading blows. I gasp as Damon takes a hard hit to his injured side, stumbling back, but he doesn't give up. With a surge of strength, Damon takes him to the ground. They roll, trading punches. I hold my breath, silently willing Damon to prevail. In a final desperate move, Damon manages to pin Jake down. He delivers a knockout blow, and he goes limp. As the dust settles, I realize the gunfire has stopped. The remaining thugs, seeing their leader fall, begin to scatter. Suddenly we hear sirens and I see the lights of patrol cars surround us. "Finally," Marcus yells. "You called them?" I ask, relieved. He nods. "I did, but I didn't realize we'd have to do everything ourselves first." Just as we finish talking, the doors burst open and officers flood around us. "Get your hands up," the officer in the front yells. The three of us were being chased. "He's the one that was shooting at us," I yell at them. The officers take Jake and cuff him, dragging him to their patrol cars. Then they load Damon into the ambulance and we ride to the hospital to get him all stitched up. Luckily, it seems that the bullet only grazed him, so we can stitch him up and send him on his way, the EMT tells us.
This is it, baby. This is what you can get me that'll make me happy.
You know I'll get you whatever you want. All you need to do is ask me and I'll give it to you.
This ain't just it. This is everything I could ever want.
Now I'm curious. What does a strong, sassy woman like yourself want so badly?
Baby, you know what I want?
I can't wait to hear.
The Big Baddie Bundle from Tyla Walker. It has everything I need.
20 ebooks with over 1 million words of sassy romance and spice that'll keep you on your toes.
10 audiobooks containing over 60 hours of that seductive voice telling me naughty things all night long.
You don't need an audiobook for that, baby. Right here.
You may be fine and all, but no one tells it like the way Miss Tyla does. And I need her in my life.
The Big Baddie Bundle is everything you need. You can get it for 80% off.
Go to TylaWalker.com to browse the bundles that earn you the best deals.
It's time you treat yourself. Because you deserve it.
Escape your life with Miss Tyla.
Chapter 16. Damon. Marcus pulls into my driveway. God, I hate stitches, I tell Naomi as she helps me out of the car. I know, babe, but we're lucky stitches are all you needed. When I saw you hurting and the amount of blood, I thought it was so much worse. You scared the hell out of me. I'm sorry I scared you, but you know me, tough as nails. Thank you for everything, Marcus. I'll call you later, Naomi says and shuts the door. I proceed to walk up the drive. Hey, Naomi. I hear him call from the window he rolled down. Take care of him, okay? Always, she says. It's then I realize that all this we've done isn't in vain. I've got my girl by my side, and my best friend obviously still cares about my well-being. The antiseptic tang of the ambulance still lingers in my nostrils as she guides me through the front door of the house. My side throbs in rhythm with my heartbeat, a constant reminder of the chaos we've just narrowly escaped. Naomi helps me ease onto the couch, her touch gentle yet firm. You should rest, she says, her voice laced with concern. I've had enough rest to last a lifetime, I reply, managing a smirk despite the pain. Besides, I can't think of a better way to celebrate being alive than some alone time with you.
I hate to put a stop to a good time, but it looks like we've hit YouTube's limit for spiciness.
YouTube's got some rules we have to play by if we want to keep giving you these stories for free.
And trust me, this scene isn't something you want to miss.
While we can't get into all the details here, you can still dive into the full uncut version at tylawalker.com.
Miss Tyla has an entire collection of unabridged audiobooks and ebooks waiting for you.
And the best part? You can treat yourself with 40% off when you use the code SAVE40.
That's right. You'll save on any digital product, even bundles that are already discounted.
Miss Tyla would never let anyone feel the kind of disappointment you must be feeling right now.
So why wait? Treat yourself with Miss Tyla.
Chapter 17. Naomi. I wake to the warmth of Damon's body next to mine, our limbs tangled in the sheets. The events of yesterday play through my mind like a surreal movie. My muscles ache, a reminder of the chaos we survived. "Good morning," I say, as my eyes slowly open. Damon doesn't open his eyes, but a sleepy grin appears. "Good morning, darling." Suddenly, a sharp knock shatters the silence. Damon's eyes snap open. "What the? Are you expecting someone?" I ask, propping myself up on an elbow. He shakes his head, tension visible in the set of his jaw. "Stay here," he murmurs, pressing a quick kiss to my forehead before sliding out of bed. I watch as he pulls on a pair of jeans and a t-shirt. He disappears into the hallway, and I strain to hear what's happening. Muffled voices is all I hear until Damon shouts something that I can't make out. My heart races as I leap out of bed, grabbing his discarded shirt from the floor and throwing it on. I rush towards the commotion, my bare feet silent on the hardwood floor. I freeze in the doorway of the living room, my breath catching in my throat. 3 men in dark suits stand around Damon, who's on his knees, hands behind his back. A 4th man, clearly in charge, paces in front of him. "What the hell is going on?" The words tumble out before I can stop them. All eyes turn to me. Damon's face is a mask of resignation and regret. "Naomi, I'm sorry," he says, his voice barely above a whisper. The man in charge steps forward, flashing a badge. "Miss James, I presume? I'm Agent Carver. We're here to arrest Damon Sinclair on multiple charges of fraud and money laundering." My world tilts on its axis. But we just took down the organization. He helped you guys catch the leader of the operation." "I'm aware of recent events," Agent Carver cuts in, his tone clipped. "However, Mr. Sinclair's past actions with their activities are still punishable by law. We have substantial evidence of his involvement in illegal activities spanning several years. Just because he decided to change his ways now doesn't erase what he did in the past." "No, you can't take him. This isn't fair. Doesn't he get any credit for his help stopping it?" I beg. "That's for the judge to decide, ma'am." Damon doesn't resist as they haul him to his feet. His eyes meet mine, a storm of emotions swirling in their blue depths. "It's okay, Naomi. This is what I deserve. I told you I was going to make things right, and this is part of that." "No," I choke out, tears blurring my vision. "No, you've changed. You're not that person anymore." One of the officers interrupts us and starts reading Damon his rights as they lead him towards the door. I follow desperately. "Wait, please. Can't we talk about this? Isn't there something I can do?" Agent Carver turns to me, his expression softening slightly. "I'm sorry, Miss James. My hands are tied." I watch helplessly as they escort him out of the house. He looks back at me one last time, mouthing, "I love you," before they usher him into a waiting patrol car. The tears flow freely now as the reality of the situation crashes over me. Despite everything we've been through, despite our efforts to make things right, his past has finally caught up with him. And now, I'm left standing alone, wearing nothing but his shirt, as the man I love is taken away to face an uncertain future. Finally, I drag myself to the couch, staring blankly at the wall. The weight of his absence crushes my chest, making it hard to breathe. My phone buzzes. Marcus. I let it ring, not ready to face him or anyone else. But he's persistent, calling again and again until I finally answer. What? My voice is hoarse, raw from crying. Naomi, I heard about Damon. Are you okay? I laugh bitterly. Okay? No, Marcus, I'm not okay. The man I love was just arrested. How could I possibly be okay? There's a long pause before Marcus speaks again. I'm coming over. There's no point in arguing, because I know he will come regardless, so I just hang up. 20 minutes later, there's a knock at my door. I consider ignoring it, but I know my brother. He'll stand there all day if he has to. I open the door, and he takes in my disheveled appearance. His eyes soften with concern. You look like hell, sis. Thanks for the compliment, I mutter, stepping aside to let him in. He walks in, his gaze sweeping the messy room. Have you eaten anything? I shrug, collapsing back onto the couch. Not hungry. He sighs, sitting next to me. Naomi, we need to talk about this. What's there to talk about? Damon's gone and there's nothing I can do about it. Marcus runs a hand through his hair, a telltale sign he's conflicted. I don't know how to feel about all this. Damon's my best friend, but what he did. He was trying to make it right, I argue, feeling a spark of anger. Doesn't that count for anything? It's not that simple, Marcus says, his voice tight. The law doesn't just forget about past crimes because someone decides to do the right thing later. I turn to face him, eyes blazing. So what? You think he deserves this? After everything he did to help take down that organization? Marcus holds up his hands. I didn't say that. I'm torn, Naomi. Part of me wants to support him, but another part can't ignore what he did. He's changed, I insist, my voice breaking. You know he has. I hope he has, Marcus says softly. But that doesn't erase his past actions. We sit in silence for a moment, the weight of the situation hanging heavy between us. What am I supposed to do now? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. Marcus wraps an arm around my shoulders. I don't know, sis. I wish I had an answer for you. I lean into him, letting the tears fall once more. I can't lose him, Marcus. I can't. Chapter 18. Naomi. The days following Damon's arrest blur together in a haze of grief and determination. I can't eat, can't sleep, can't think of anything but getting him out. My apartment becomes a war room, plastered with sticky notes and timelines. It's been 3 days since I called Mrs. Harper and told her I was unable to take the job at the time. I didn't go into details, but because it being Lakewood and all, I'm sure she has already heard about the damn show that is my life right now. She blindly promised she would let me know if something else happened to come up in the near future, but I'm not holding out hope. Marcus drops by, as he does most every day now, his face etched with concern. Naomi, you need to take care of yourself. I shake my head, gesturing at the chaos around me. I need to take care of Damon. He wouldn't want you destroying yourself like this, Marcus argues, picking up a half-empty coffee mug. What he wants doesn't matter right now, I snap. What matters is getting him out. I turn to face my brother, my eyes pleading. Marcus, you have to help me. Damon's changed. He doesn't deserve this. Marcus sighs, rubbing his temples. Naomi, it's not that simple. The law... Screw the law, I explode. The law doesn't always get it right. Damon risked everything to bring down that organization. Doesn't that count for anything? Of course it does, but... No buts, I cut him off. He deserves a second chance. We can't just let him rot in there for mistakes he's trying to make right. He stays silent, his eyes roaming over the evidence I've gathered. Please, Marcus, I whisper, my voice breaking. I can't do this alone. I need you. He meets my gaze, conflict clear in his eyes. Naomi, I don't know if I can. You can, I insist, grabbing his hand. "You're the most capable person I know. If anyone can help clear Damon's name, it's you." Marcus pulls away, pacing the room. "It's not about capability. It's complicated." "What's complicated about doing the right thing?" I challenge. He whirls to face me. "The right thing? Naomi, Damon broke the law. Multiple laws. And he's trying to make it right," I counter. "People change, Marcus. Damon has changed. You've seen it yourself." Marcus falls silent again, his brow furrowed in thought. "Look," I say softly, "I know you're conflicted, but Damon needs us. He needs you. Can you really turn your back on your best friend when he needs you most?" I see the moment Marcus's resolve crumbles. His shoulders sag, and he lets out a long breath. "All right," he says finally. "I'll help. But Naomi, this won't be easy. I want you to know I'm doing this for you because I can't stand to see you upset. But I'm not promising I'll be able to do anything." Relief floods through me, and I throw my arms around him. "Thank you," I murmur into his chest. "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Marcus hugs me back, then pulls away, his expression serious. "We do this by the book, understand? No cutting corners, no bending rules. We gather evidence, we build a case, and we present it through proper channels." I nod eagerly. "Of course. Whatever it takes." "All right then," Marcus says, rolling up his sleeves. "Let's start by calling the people you have listed here for character witnesses." After several hours of talking to people who aren't willing to help me, I slam the phone down, frustration coursing through my veins. "Another dead end," I growl, running my fingers through my hair. Marcus looks up from his laptop, his eyes weary. "Who was that?" "Damon's old colleague. He left the company suddenly months ago with no explanation. But he claims he doesn't remember a thing about Damon trying to leave the business." I pace the room, my heels clicking against the hardwood floor. Either he's lying, or he's got the memory of a goldfish. Marcus sighs, leaning back in his chair. "We knew this wouldn't be easy, Naomi." "Easy? Nothing about this has been easy," I snap, immediately regretting my tone. "I'm sorry, I feel like we're getting nowhere." "Hey," Marcus says softly, standing up and placing a hand on my shoulder. "We're making progress. Slow progress, but progress nonetheless." I nod, trying to believe him. "What about your contact at the bank? Any luck there?" Marcus shakes his head. "Not yet, but I've got a meeting with her tomorrow. Maybe she can shed some light on Damon's financial records." "And if she can't?" I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. "Then we keep looking," Marcus says firmly. "We don't give up." I manage a small smile. "When did you become the optimistic one?" "Someone has to be," he quips, returning to his laptop. "Now let's go over those company documents again. There's got to be something we missed." We spend the next few hours poring over documents, making calls, and following up on leads. Each setback only fuels our determination. We're not just fighting for Damon's freedom. We're fighting for his future. As the sun begins to set, casting long shadows across the room, Marcus stretches and yawns. "We should call it a day, get some rest and start fresh tomorrow." I shake my head, my eyes never leaving the file in front of me. "You go ahead. I'm going to keep at it for a bit longer." Marcus frowns. "Naomi, you need to sleep." "I'll sleep when Damon's free, and in bed beside me," I mutter, flipping to the next page. "You're no good to him if you burn yourself out," Marcus argues. I look up, meeting his concerned gaze. "I can't stop, Marcus. Every minute I waste is another minute Damon spends behind bars." Marcus sighs but nods in understanding. "All right, but promise me you'll get some rest soon." "I promise," I say, knowing full well it's a lie. As Marcus gathers his things to leave, I feel a surge of gratitude. Hey, I call out, making him pause at the door. Thank you. He smiles, a hint of his old warmth returning to his eyes. That's what family's for, right? As the door closes behind him, I turn back to my work, more determined than ever. We will find a way to prove Damon's innocence. We have to. Chapter 19. Naomi. I slam my palm on the desk, a triumphant grin spreading across my face. Marcus, look at this. My brother leans over my shoulder, his eyes scanning the document I've just unearthed. What am I looking at, Naomi? It's an email thread between Damon and his former boss. Look at the date. It's from 2 years ago. I point to a specific line. See that? His boss is threatening to deal with Damon's family if he doesn't cooperate. Marcus's eyes widen. Holy damn. This is exactly what we've been looking for. There's more, I say, flipping through the stack of papers. I found emails to other employees who were similarly coerced. Now we have a pattern, Marcus finishes, a spark of hope in his eyes. I nod, my heart racing. This changes everything. We need to get this to a lawyer, ASAP. Marcus pulls out his phone. I know just the person. Remember Olivia Chin? She's a hotshot defense attorney now. As Marcus dials, I gather the documents, my hands shaking with excitement and nerves. This could be our breakthrough, the key to Damon's freedom. Olivia agrees to meet us. As we sit in her office, surrounded by law books and framed diplomas, I can't help but feel a glimmer of hope. So, you believe Mr. Sinclair was coerced into these illegal activities? Olivia asks, her sharp eyes scanning the documents we've brought. We don't just believe it, I say firmly. We have proof. Olivia nods, her expression thoughtful. This is compelling evidence, but we're up against some powerful people. It won't be easy. We're prepared for that, Marcus says, his voice steady. We just need someone who can navigate the legal system and present our case effectively. Olivia leans back in her chair, a small smile playing on her lips. Well, you've come to the right place. I'll take the case. Relief washes over me, but it's short-lived as Olivia outlines the challenges ahead. We're dealing with corrupt officials who have a vested interest in keeping Mr. Sinclair behind bars, she explains. They'll throw every legal hurdle they can at us. What can we do? I ask, determined to overcome whatever obstacles lie ahead. Her eyes gleam with determination. We fight. We use every legal tool at our disposal, and most importantly, we don't back down. As we leave her office, armed with a plan and a renewed sense of purpose, I feel a mix of hope and trepidation. The road ahead is long and fraught with challenges, but for the first time in weeks, I believe we have a real chance of freeing Damon. We spend the next few weeks at her side, working tirelessly to gather everything we need to help his trail go the way we want it to go. Finally, after what seems like forever, the day arrives. I grip Marcus's hand tightly as we enter the courtroom, my heart pounding against my ribs. The room buzzes with tension, thick enough to cut with a knife. Damon sits at the defense table, his shoulders rigid beneath his suit jacket. Our eyes meet, and I try to convey all my love and support in that single glance. Olivia Chen, our attorney, strides confidently to the center of the room. Your Honor, the defense would like to present new evidence that fundamentally changes the nature of this case. The judge nods, his weathered face impassive. Proceed, Miss Chen. As she lays out our case, I lean forward, hanging on every word. She's masterful, weaving together the emails, testimonies, and financial records into a compelling narrative of coercion and redemption. Mr. Sinclair was not a willing participant in these illegal activities, Olivia argues, her voice ringing through the courtroom. He was a man trapped by threats and manipulation, who ultimately risked everything to do the right thing. The prosecution's rebuttal is fierce. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the DA begins, his voice dripping with disdain. Don't be fooled by this 11th hour attempt to paint Mr. Sinclair as a victim. His actions speak louder than any conveniently discovered emails. They argue back and forth until it's finally time for Damon to testify. I watch him on the stand, his voice steady as he recounts the threats against his family, the constant fear he lived under. Pride swells in my chest at his courage, even as my stomach churns with anxiety over the outcome. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, the judge calls for order. The courtroom falls silent, the air electric with anticipation. In light of the new evidence presented, the judge begins, his voice grave. I find that Mr. Sinclair's actions were indeed the result of coercion and duress. Furthermore, his subsequent efforts to right his wrongs and assist in bringing down a criminal enterprise demonstrate a clear commitment to justice. I hold my breath, scarcely daring to hope. Therefore, I am ordering all charges against Damon Sinclair to be dropped. Mr. Sinclair, you are free to go. The gavel strikes, and the room erupts. I'm on my feet, tears streaming down my face as I watch Damon embrace Olivia, his shoulders shaking with relief. Then he spots me and his eyes light up. He runs toward me and picks me up, spinning us around. Our lips meet in a passionate kiss. You did it, baby. I love you so much, he says into my neck. I grab his chin, guiding him to look at me. No, Damon, we did it. We did it together. We all three did it. He's free. Outside the courthouse, the bright sunlight feels like a promise of new beginnings. I spot Marcus striding towards us, his face a mix of emotions. Damon, he calls out, his voice thick with feeling. He turns, uncertainty flashing across his features, but Marcus doesn't hesitate. He pulls him into a fierce hug, clapping him on the back. I'm sorry, Marcus says as they part, for doubting you, for everything. He shakes his head, a small smile playing on his lips. You have nothing to apologize for, man. I'm just grateful you're here now. Marcus's gaze flicks between Damon and me, his expression softening. You two, he says, chuckling softly. I guess some things are just meant to be, huh? I feel Damon's arm slip around my waist, and I lean into him, savoring the warmth of his touch. So, Marcus continues, a mischievous glint in his eye, I suppose this means I should start planning a wedding? Does that mean you approve? Damon asks. He sighs. Well, I guess so. I was so against the thought of you two together until I saw the extent of what you were willing to do to protect her. That's all I've wanted for her, is someone who adores her and that I know can keep her safe. So, do we have your blessing? I nudge him playfully. He nods. I suppose so, as long as the wedding doesn't involve gunfire. He nudges back. We all laugh a little too hard at his joke. I think it's a mix of nerves and excitement. It's finally over and Damon can come home.
Chapter 20, Damon.
And that's where we're going to put a pause on pleasure.
Looks like the rest of this chapter is just too naughty to put on the air.
As much as we'd love to share every little detail, we've got to stick to YouTube's guidelines to keep these free audiobooks coming.
They've got some rules about what we can show, and we wouldn't want to risk losing the chance to bring you more content.
As frustrating as it is to build the tension only to be interrupted, Miss Tyla always knows how to make it up to you.
You can find the full, uncut scene over at TylaWalker.com.
With an entire library of unabridged audiobooks and ebooks, Miss Tyla's collection is waiting for you.
If you use code SAVE40, you'll get 40% off any digital product, even on bundles that are already discounted.
So don't let the fun stop here. Head over to TylaWalker.com and treat yourself with Miss Tyla.
Chapter 21. Naomi. The sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink as Damon and I stroll hand in hand along the beach. The sand crunches beneath our feet, still warm from the day's heat. I can't help but steal glances at him, marveling at how far we've come. "You're awfully quiet," I tease, bumping my shoulder against his. Damon chuckles, his blue eyes twinkling. "Just taking it all in. Freedom. You. This moment." A wave crashes against the shore, and I feel a shiver run through me that has nothing to do with the cooling air. It still feels surreal sometimes, doesn't it? He stops, turning to face me. "Naomi, What?" I ask, noticing a sudden nervousness in his demeanor. He takes a deep breath, his hands trembling slightly as he reaches for both of mine. "I've been thinking a lot about us, about everything we've been through." My heart starts racing. "Oh? Yeah?" he says, a small smile playing on his lips. And I realize something. No matter what life throws at us, there's no one else I'd rather face it with than you. Before I can respond, he drops to one knee, sand clinging to his jeans. My breath catches in my throat as he pulls out a small velvet box from his pocket. "Naomi James," he says, his voice thick with emotion. "You've seen me at my worst and still chose to love me. You fought for me when I couldn't fight for myself. You're the strongest, most compassionate person I know, and I want to spend the rest of my life trying to be worthy of your love. Will you marry me?" Tears blur my vision as he opens the box, revealing a stunning diamond ring. It's simple yet elegant, just like us. "Yes," I whisper, then louder. "Yes, of course, I'll marry you." His face breaks into a radiant smile as he slides the ring onto my finger. It fits perfectly, like it was always meant to be there. He stands, pulling me into his arms, and I bury my face in his chest, breathing in his familiar scent. "I love you," I murmur against his shirt. "I love you too," he replies, tilting my chin up to meet his gaze. "More than you could ever know." He lifts me up in a passionate kiss, and I wrap my legs around him. When our lips finally part, I can't stop smiling. He finally sets me back down, and I can't stop staring at the ring on my finger, the way it catches the moonlight as we walk along the beach. Damon's arm is wrapped around my waist, and I lean into him, savoring his warmth. "So, future Mrs. Sinclair," he says, a playful lilt in his voice. "What does your future look like?" I laugh, my heart soaring at the sound of that name. "Mrs. Sinclair, huh? I like the sound of that." "Me too," he murmurs, pressing a kiss to my temple. I take a moment to gather my thoughts, wiggling my toes in the cool sand. Well, I want to keep helping people, you know? Maybe expand my work, start a nonprofit for at-risk youth. He nods encouragingly. "That sounds perfect for you. What else?" "I want to build a house," I continue, feeling a bit vulnerable. "Not just a house, but a real home, somewhere we can build a life together, maybe start a family." His eyes light up. "Kids?" "2 or 3, I say, biting my lip. "Is that okay?" "It's more than okay," Damon replies, his voice thick with emotion. "It's exactly what I want too." Relief washes over me. "Really?" "Really," he confirms. "I want all of it with you, the nonprofit, the home, the kids. I want to use my business skills to help you make a difference in people's lives." I stop walking and turn to face him, cupping his face in my hands. "You're amazing, you know that?" He grins, leaning into my touch. "I have my moments." "So what else is in this perfect future of ours?" "Travel," I say decisively. "I want to see the world with you, experience new cultures, make memories in far-off places." "Done," he agrees immediately. "Where should we go first?" I tap my chin, pretending to think hard. "How about everywhere?" He laughs, the sound echoing across the empty beach. "Ambitious. I like it. Let's start planning our first trip tomorrow." "Tomorrow?" I raise an eyebrow. Someone's eager. Can you blame me? He pulls me close, his forehead resting against mine. I can't wait to start our future together. I smile, feeling a warmth spread through my chest. Me neither. But don't you think we should start planning the wedding first? You're right. Let's start tonight. Her eyes light up as I lead her back to the house. We settle onto the couch, a notebook balanced on my lap. So what's your idea of a dream wedding? I tap the pen against my chin, pretending to ponder. How about we elope to Vegas? Elvis officiant and all? His jaw drops for a split second before he catches my teasing grin. Very funny. I thought I was the jokester in this relationship. Just keeping you on your toes, babe, I laugh, leaning in to plant a quick kiss on his cheek. Okay, for real though. I've always imagined something outdoors, surrounded by nature. Maybe a beautiful garden or a scenic vineyard? He nods, his fingers absently playing with a lock of my hair. I like that. What about the guest list? Small and intimate or big and boisterous? Somewhere in between, I decide. Close family and friends, but not so small that we can't have a proper dance floor. I want to see you bust out those moves you've been hiding. He chuckles, a slight blush creeping up his neck. You might regret that wish. He pulls me closer, his arm warm around my shoulders. Sounds amazing. Oh, and for the ceremony, what if we wrote our own vows? His eyes light up. I'd love that, though I might need a few dozen pages to express everything you mean to me. I laugh, feeling a warmth spread through my chest. Same here. We might be standing at that altar for hours. I wouldn't mind, he murmurs, leaning in for a kiss. As our lips meet, I can't help but think that no matter what our wedding looks like, it'll be perfect because we'll be together. And after everything we've been through, that's all that really matters.